Can they go out and cover their number two with their best guys? Because if you don't do that, you're in zone all day, or you're trying to find ways to get combos on receivers. So if you can do that, it makes you different.
So Christian Holmes says you're letting your guys watch your film from Oklahoma. Why in the world would you let them do that?
Well, every once in a while I get the question to coach. I bet you couldn't do that, and so I really didn't to give the credit or the disservices to my son Caleb.
Okay.
He showed some of the guys one day on YouTube his dad's film, and so they came in the next day and gave me a hard time about
Yeah, he
it.
said your blitz technique made some work.
Absolutely. That's why I'm not playing anymore.
Right.
You talked a lot about sort of the marriage, I think is the word you use, between defensive backs and the defensive line. I know with the line you got a lot of talent, but some guys who are kind of going to be new.
Absolutely.
And then you got all that talent in the secondary. Do you think that kind of can correlate well? Do you think that'll work out well?
It better. That's why you practice. The front end and the back end have to work together. If we want to generate more pressure, we got to have DBs who can get up there and challenge. If we want to get more sacks, we got to have D linemen who can turn the edge and go and beat people one-on-one. So it is a marriage made in heaven. The last time I checked, the best coverage in the world is a sack. When you can create pressure with four guys, it really gives your DBs a chance to be very multiple in the back end.
In that same vein, I think we were joking with you 4 weeks into last year that John Banks was leading the team in sacks. So I would assume the message this year is, gentlemen, we can't allow that to happen.
Well, I like that too with John. Here's the one thing about our program is it's always putting the guys, our best players, in the best situations to make plays. And if that's Nico Whitley, if that's Danico Autry, or if it's Josh Boyd, nobody cares. Nobody really cares. We just want to have production. And that's, in my mind, at the end of the day, is what's most relevant.
Danico, the other day, I think he said something about sees himself as a third down guy, then Dan's like, no, I want him to be the starter. And today he says, okay, yeah, I'm embracing that starter's mentality, but is there some kind of transition he's trying to make up here?
I think I didn't know that, first of all, but I guess the big core value number one in our program is always being honest, and I expect Danico Autry to never leave the field. That's our expectation for him. That's why he came here, to never leave the field, and that's what our standard is. That's what we're expecting from him, and hopefully that would be his when camp's all said and done.
Coach Mullen was talking about the offensive line, defensive line. He's never had as many in the camp before. We know the SEC is all about building depth.
Right.
Being able to last through fourth quarter,
No doubt.
to knock off the Alabamas and LSUs. Are you guys getting closer to getting that type of depth where you're going to feel good no matter who you play, you're going to be able to hold no lead or chip into it and end up winning a game?
I believe so. The biggest thing is how quick you get those younger guys to develop. But the numbers are there. The talent is there. What we've got to do is get that to playing at an SEC level. And when you start talking about, here's Quay and Nick James, these guys were just in high school like a few weeks ago. So, so there's going to be a learning curve for those guys. And what we're doing is getting them as many reps and as many opportunities that we can give them to play as soon as they can.
Do you think, John?
That's an unknown, but there seems to be confidence that he can do that.
Yeah, we have confidence in him, but the issues that we want to do is we really think, with our receivers all being older, Chris has been around, Arcedo's been around, those guys have played a lot of games. Evans, Bumpus, they've all played a lot of time. So, we feel like our experience is in the receiver position. That doesn't mean we don't have it at tailback also. On offense, I think at every position we're pretty mature. You know what I'm saying? Except our offensive line, we're developing some young guys here because we've had a lot of guys graduate. We've had a lot of guys graduate.
Dylan Day.
Good. I think he stepped up, being a leader in terms of what I asked him to do. And he's still a redshirt sophomore, but he's a center. And right now he's got a starting job. That's the expectation he has in that position.
Speaking of Damien, we walked by him a while ago and looked at him. I was asking him at the time, how far he has come. He's like, man, I've come a long way from left tackle, pretty much all the way across the line to right tackle. What kind of progress have you seen as he's kind of been moved around? Has he developed like you hoped?
I think his development been to be exactly where he should be. In terms of coming in as a true freshman coming in. I don't have high expectations for true freshmen to play as true freshmen, and then they got to adjust their weight, they got to adjust their motion, they got to adjust those things. As a redshirt freshman, I really expect them to put themselves to start competing in the two deep, get into two deep, to get some reps in a live game, and not necessarily that we have to, but that he can. That he gets in the games and things like that, get reps. And to me, like the progression of offensive line, in my mind, this is his year that he should be committed, he should be starting. And that should be a starting job. It's going to be a starting job or a third, one of the three guys that I can't play. We have to do.
I've been really impressed with how he's practiced the first 5 practices, and he's always been a great kid and a hard worker. But just his approach to practice, he's elevated his game. I think he saw how much success Deontay and Matt had, especially toward the end of last year, and I think he wants to have a little bit of that success too.
Do you feel like, is there 7 guys right now you feel like you can roll with in an SEC
Absolutely,
game?
easily. And the big thing is, last season we didn't have that, and through the spring and spring practices, that was the big focus for all of us. And even kids like Cam and Deontay, they wanted to make sure we had 7, hopefully even 8 that can do it. So I feel good about them right now.
Oh, okay. What's the what's the madness to the science of trying to rotate guys in and out?
Well, the big thing, Christian, you're about to talk to him today at practice. He played every position. He played Sam, he played Mike, he played Will.
And with guys like
Chris Hughes can do that. Deontay plays Sam and Mike. We asked Matt Wells to do a lot of different things, so just teaching
guys
them
like Richie
playbook.
Right now. That's essentially what you're trying to get them to do.
He played Mike and Will today, right? Absolutely. So they're all in Zach Jackson. He played Sam and Will today. So we just always kind of expose them to different things, so that whenever we get to a season, hey, play the next best linebacker, not just the next best Will or the next best Sam. Try to get that kind of done. So it's good when you have kids like that can high character, and they all pull for each other. And that's one of the neat things about our room is they all are happy when the other one is successful. They want their own success, but Christian pulls for Cam to be successful. Cam pulls for Deontay to be successful, and on and on. So that's really positive.
Last thing I'll get you on this.
Okay.
I think about 4 weeks into this last season, we were all joking John Banks was leading the team in sacks.
Okay.
So that, I would think that would be an objective, number 1, 2, and 3 on for you and for Chris to make sure that doesn't happen this year.
Right.
Where
Well,
you're
John-
getting the quarterback.
The nice thing is John Banks is such a great player.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all, everybody's happy with everybody, but the cool thing is Deontay Skinner finished up. I think he had 9 tackles for loss. So hopefully that'll go into getting more sacks. Cam, different blitz packages for him, get more sacks.
Just creating more negative plays with your front seven.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bernard McKinney this year. It's the first time they've seen him. You smile when
He's a big human being. He's 6'5". Right now he's weighing about 238, and he's a physical presence when he's out there on the field. We were just watching practice, and he was just in a regular drop, but it feels like he's taking up the whole field or half the field because he's so big.
Talked to Christian Holmes on Saturday, and I mentioned how much you were impressed with him over the summer
Right.
and early on, and he just said, yeah, I've kind of gone from a guy that was halfway into a redshirt year and didn't know if I wanted to be here, and then at the end of the year realized, man, I really did suck.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
did the light bulb go on at that point?
It has. I wouldn't say he sucked.
Bernard McKinney this year. It's the first time they've seen him. You smile when
He's a big human being. He's 6'5". Right now he's weighing about 238, and he's a physical presence when he's out there on the field. We were just watching practice, and he was just in a regular drop, but it feels like he's taking up the whole field or half the field because he's so big.
Talked to Christian Holmes on Saturday, and I mentioned how much you were impressed with him over the summer
Right.
and early on, and he just said, yeah, I've kind of gone from a guy that was halfway into a redshirt year and didn't know if I wanted to be here, and then at the end of the year realized, man, I really did suck.
Yeah.
Wait. Did the light bulb go on at that point?
It has. I wouldn't say he sucked.
He's always trying to get better, and he's humble. And you can get on Jonathan right now like you get on a freshman, and he responds. He doesn't have a lot of lip service for you. So I guess they trained him well at home, because he's really working hard and trying to get better. And he has a standard for himself and the team.
Let's talk to Darius Slay. He's saying just how different things are for him this time compared to last year when he first got to campus. Do you think he's sort of ready for more of a prominent role?
Oh yeah, Yeah, and he understands what he's doing. You know, Darius is he's a smart football player, not the best communicator. So when he first got here, he had another system in his mind. So he didn't really know what was going on, and it's kind of hard to play fast and take on your role if you don't really know it, and then you don't really know what you're doing. And I was reading where that DB that plays for the Eagles, Osaquan, I can't think of
Nnamdi Asomugha.
and he was talking about how his role last year as the Eagles, he wasn't sure about it, and he was still learning the defense. And he was just saying he was so excited about this year because two things. He knew the defense, he knew he was a person that they looked up to, but he didn't feel comfortable leading because he didn't know. And Darius is that way right now. He's really done a good job leadership and just he knows what his role is, and I think you see him a lot more loose and a lot more confident.
You know, with safety, you're mixing some guys in. How do you feel?
Feel really good. It gives us some variety as we've made a transition from the type of kids that we had a year ago. You know, Mitchell and Bonner were very basic, the same body type. Now Corey is a cover guy, crafty, real smart player, a lot of experience, and having the flexibility with him back there with Banks and Slade gives us three seniors in the secondary. Really, Whitley, who plays like a senior, who's has a lot of experience.
Whitley seems to be moving around just fine out there. I mean, he seems like he's ready to go.
Well, I tell you what, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
And on the field and all that stuff.
How much is it helpful having some veterans like that? It's got to be rougher when you're a coach and everybody's got it's got to really help you. It allows you to help.
Listen, I still remember first practice of fall, and no one can get lined up. You have all these young freshmen, and you're just scrambling trying to get lined up. Just to get lined up, just the basic stuff. Now it's easy. You call formation. They're out there.
You should be a teacher.
Yeah, you get to master.
Kind of like graduate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those Oregon guys weren't graduate school.